What's going on, Mullen fans? Finesse Monster Activist Bull. Welcome back for another video. If you are new, hit that like button, subscribe so you get more content coming from me. I do want to touch on this 8K briefly before we get into the next trading week because there's some key things I need to highlight to you all about it. And then we're going to get into a more serious note. You might think, what's more serious than this 8K? But you'll see when we get there. Item 1.01 directly below me simply says that there has been a letter of agreement in this 8K on an existing securities purchase agreement, and it's between Muln and those toxic financiers that I've been telling you about. Now, highlighted in blue, what is interesting to me is that it says that Muln and those financiers both agreed to delay the issuance of Series D preferred stock and warrants issuable upon receipt of the remaining $45 million of the commitment amount under the securities purchase agreement from May 15, 2023 to June 12, 2023. This could be a positive and a negative in my opinion, because on the negative side, these toxic financiers are going to be able to dilute the share price here in the near term because they will be able to convert these Series D preferred shares into common stock and sell them into the market like they've been doing since last year. But on a potentially positive side though, why couldn't David Mystery and Mullen Automotive do a letter of agreement to delay a lot of these, issuance of preferred Series D? Why is now more of an important time than any other time that they've been able to issue these Series D preferred shares? Why delay it now? What's coming between May 15 and June 12? Is it what they have going on in Saudi Arabia? Something big about to be announced? And then you might ask, well then if something big is announced, they could still dilute the share price and bring it right back down. That's possible, but if they're issuing a letter of agreement, what is David Mystery planning to pull the trigger on from May 15 to June 12 that he has to put in a letter of agreement to delay these issued preferred shares with these toxic financiers that's just been absolutely taking advantage of him since early last year? These are my thoughts and opinions, not financial advice. So you let me know what you guys think about that. We're going to move on to the next serious thing that I want to attack in this video. And the toxic lenders that I speak of, are in this 8K, Asusa Holdings, Aquitas Capital, Tim Pazer or Pizer, whatever his name is, Alt Lending as well. But look at the highlighted text above. Hopefully you guys can see that, but I'm going to read it to you off another screen. Unregistered sales of equity securities. People been down in the comments asking me, what can be done about these toxic lenders sending Mullen Automotive Company on a down spiral all of 2022 coming into 2023. We're going to talk about that here. Stay tuned and let's read this here. It says the disclosure set forth under item 1.01 regarding the issuance of Series D preferred stock and warrants pursuant to the securities purchase agreement as amended by the letter agreement is incorporated by reference into this item 3.02. Such Series D preferred stock and warrants will be issued pursuant to an exemption from the registration requirements of the Securities Act of 1933. As amended, the Securities Act pursuant to the exemption for transactions by an issuer not involving any public offering under Section 4A2 of the Securities Act. They have an exemption to do unregistered sales of equity securities, these toxic lenders that are in Mullen Automotive. But it doesn't state what the exemption is, like how are they exempt? All right, let's focus, guys. This Securities Lawyer 101 article says SEC pursues unregistered dealers, toxic financing, toxic convertible notes. You see a bull laying on the ground right there. This is serious stuff. And ever since I've been talking about toxic financing in my videos, I've been getting feedback saying I've been complaining about Mullen Automotive stock. You can feel how you want to feel. One thing about me is I'm going to call it how I see it. Let's keep going. 2020 and 2021 have been historic years for Securities and Exchange Commission enforcement action against toxic lenders as unregistered dealers, informally known as toxic lenders or dilution funders, because the terms of their financing agreements contains provisions that almost always result in harm to investors and issuers alike. They're considered by many to be the Scrooge of the penny stock market. Typically, the notes they can buy can be converted at any time, often at a discount to the market price of 70% or more. As the lender converts and sells, stock price drops. To avoid making insider filings to the SEC, the lender's financing agreement specify they may own no more than 4.99% of the company's stock at any time, but that in no way stops him from converting his note continuously in a succession of tranches. Since the conversion ratio is pegged to the security's recent average bid price, every time he converts, he gets more stock than the time before. As he sells tranche after tranche, the company's stock price enters free fall or death spiral. Sometimes the only remedy for the issuer is a large reverse split. And Muln didn't do a large one. They did a 1 for 25, but we've recently seen other penny stocks do like 1 for 200. Speaking of death spiral and in debt, didn't you notice Investor Place came out with an article saying Muln Automotive is most likely going to bankruptcy? Keep that in mind as I read through this. Death spiral debt, a type of convertible bond that forces the creation of an ever-increasing number of shares, inevitably leading to a steep drop in share price. Here's an example. Bed Bath & Beyond, retail chain Bed Bath & Beyond, represents an example of potential death spiral debt if the struggling company's recent issue of $225 million in convertible preferred stock plus warrants for an additional $800 million over time ultimately results in bankruptcy. Finesse Monster, you talking about it, but what can be done? Will they continue to do this until Muln goes bankrupt? This particular passage will be a start for someone to look into, whether it's the CEO or whether it's shareholders of Muln Automotive. But this is a start. Let's read. The SEC has made clear it believes these toxic funders are indeed dealers and as such must register with the agency and join a self-regulatory organization, SRO. In this case, the relevant SRO would be the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA. Should they continue their activities without registration, those activities will violate the securities law. In addition, their financing agreements will be void under 15 U.S.C. 78 CCB and Section 29B of the Exchange Act. So with all of these things discussed, you hear me discuss, these toxic lenders or financiers in Muln Automotive have been potentially violating securities laws. This, in my opinion, would be a start for people to look into in regards to Muln Automotive Company, because I believe David Mishry has pretty much signed the company away unless he's able to get some funding and or revenue coming in to get rid of these toxic financiers that he's involved with. That's where the action needs to take place against these toxic financiers. Shout out to One Fix It Man. Muln needs to pay off the toxic debt before the note expires and the toxic lenders can exercise shares to cover with. They need to announce a dividend to force the shorts to cover the dividend, and they need to start a lawsuit against the companies that are shorting them and take the case to discovery. Reverse split is a death sentence for a company being naked shorted. The shorts can then short them from a higher level and make even more money on the way down. Every time Lawrence Harge opens his mouth on the stock, tanks. Good luck to all, but if your CEO does not fight to create significant revenues, the company will be in trouble. Some of you may agree with some, none, or all of that, but I just wanted to read it to you all. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Hope y'all stay charged up out there. Don't feed the fear, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm gone.